Greetings, young squires. This is Sir Rolland, a faithful knight to the one true light, and you're listening to our series on how to face, fight, and defeat the 7 deadly dragons. I would like to answer a question from one of our listeners. Lady Penny, age 9, from Illinois, writes, "Hi, Sir Rolland. I love your show. Why did you decide to use the colors of the rainbow to represent the colors of the dragons? And how do you choose the different names for the dragons?" What great questions from young Lady Penny. Well, there are 3 parts to the first question on why I use the colors of the rainbow to represent the dragons. For number 1, my squire John is an eye doctor, and since we hang out so much, I have become very interested in the visible light spectrum, which is really what the colors of the rainbow are, different wavelengths of light that are visible to the human eye. Number 2, Jesus is the light of the world. He represents everything that is good and true and beautiful. God said from the very beginning, "Let there be light." And it is his light that pierces the darkness of this world. And number 3, everything God made was good. However, because of our free will, angels and humans have the ability to choose good or evil. So evil, or dragons, come when something good and true and beautiful is corrupted into something evil, false, and ugly. You know, there's an old Latin phrase, corruptio optimi pessima, which means the best, when corrupted, becomes the worst. We've all been given the best by God, but when goodness and beauty and truth, such as the colors of the visible light spectrum, become corrupted, then naturally I see them as dragons, and it helps me remember to watch out for them. Now, how do I choose the names of the dragons? Well, the 7 deadly sins have been taught by many theologians and great Catholic saints such as St. Thomas Aquinas. We have English names for these sins: pride, envy, sloth, greed or avarice, anger, gluttony, and lust. But all these words come from other words in Greek or Latin or Hebrew, some of the original languages of the church. The names I chose for the dragons come from root words in Greek or Latin or Hebrew that describe these deadly sins. I like to study the meaning of words and figure out their origins. If you listen close to the podcast, I will try to explain what each dragon's name means in English when I introduce you to the dragon. So, I hope that helps, young Lady Penny. Thank you so much for writing me and for listening to the show. Now, we must talk about the final ingredient to slay the green dragon of greed, which is the armor. From the armor of God in Ephesians chapter 6, I have chosen the breastplate of righteousness to protect us from Argios, the green dragon. I chose the breastplate as the armor for the green dragon because a breastplate protects your heart. If you will recall that important Bible verse where Jesus says, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Jesus is asking us to be careful about what we treasure in our heart. Did you ever hear the saying that your heart has a God-sized hole? That means there is a longing and desire inside of you that can only be filled by God alone. Our 2-year-old, Lady Lumina, has a shape puzzle in which she has to match the correct shape into the correct hole or it won't fit. You can't fit a circle into a square or a hexagon into a triangle. When she tries to put the wrong piece in the wrong hole, she just gets more and more frustrated. In the same way, you can't satisfy the longing in your heart with money or power or success or pleasure. God alone can satisfy your deepest desire, which is actually heaven. But the green dragon tries to convince you otherwise. I never mentioned this before, but every dragon likes to trick us by asking a question. Questions are good if you ask the right questions. Jesus often taught by asking the right questions, which leads us to discovering the right answers. Well, the dragons know this method works, but they corrupt everything, so they ask you the wrong questions. And if you ask the wrong questions, you can never find the right answers. The red dragon asks, "What's in it for me?" The orange dragon asks, "How can I get what everyone else has?" The yellow dragon asks, "What's the least I can do?" And the green dragon asks, "How can I get the most stuff?" The problem is, more stuff doesn't make you happy. More money won't make you happy. More people liking you won't make you happy. More comfort won't make you happy. More pleasure won't make you happy. Because true happiness comes from God alone. Here's a little secret the green dragon doesn't want you to know. You can never get enough of what you don't really need. You don't need more wealth, toys, power, pleasure, or stuff. You might want that kind of stuff, but you don't need it. You need God. The green dragon lies to you. Like the carrot and stick method, he draws you farther and farther away from God by making you think that a little more money or a little more toys or a little more comfort or a little more stuff will give you everything you're looking for. But it's like trying to fix a hexagon puzzle piece into a circular hole. It won't work. It will just leave you frustrated and unsatisfied, so you will try to find more pieces of the puzzle to fill the void. You don't need more pieces. You need the right piece, and the right piece is God. That piece of the puzzle will bring you true peace and righteousness. To be righteous is to be upright, moral, and just. That means God must be at the center of your heart. You must love God first, so that your treasure is heaven. Then you can enjoy the gifts of this world and use them to give glory to God. That brings true joy and happiness. This week, ask God to help you strive for holiness, because the things that make you holy and closer to God are the only things that can make you happy and find peace.
So stay holy, young slayers, and until we meet again, I'll leave you under the protection of St. Michael the Great Archangel, St. Joseph the Terror of Dragons, and Mary, Queen of the Angels, Our Lady of Grace, and the woman whose seed crushed the head of the dragon.